What I love about New Albany is the 4th of July parade.
Sports.
Starbucks. My other home.
Very supportive to my business, and I think businesses in the area kind of all look out for each other.
Everything.
They tell you that too. People are always like, "You're not from Ohio." Like, how'd you know?
And so,
For 20 some odd years.
you've been here for 20 years?
I've been in Ohio 22, and I was in Chicago for 16 before that.
Wow.
I really shouldn't sound like this.
And you're just hanging on to it.
Every time I talk to my sister in New York, it comes back.
So your sister still lives there?
Well, my sister lives in Florida, which is like South New York.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's right. My grandmother lived there forever, and yeah, it was just flocks of New Yorkers when I would go visit.
Yeah, I think that there's like this law: the minute you start wearing white shoes, you got to move.
So how? Like, what was it like being in the Bronx?
I wasn't in the Bronx.
Or sorry, Long Island. Sorry, Long Island.
Yeah,
Long
Island was idyllic.
Really?
It was. I grew up 8 minutes from Jones Beach, from the most beautiful beaches. In fact, my cousins got married on Long Island near the Hamptons about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I sent pictures to people, and they're like, "Oh, are you in Jamaica? Are you in the Caribbean?" I'm like, "No, I'm on Long Island."
I've never been there. I've never been.
It's the most beautiful beaches you could imagine without leaving the United States.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think if it wasn't for all the people, it would be fantastic. But
yeah,
it was a fabulous childhood, surrounded by water, and being able to go to the beach all the time. That was my solace for me.
I think that maybe I'd be okay with an East Coast beach, because like when I go south to the beach or out west, like it's just so hot. I don't do well with it.
Yeah, that's why there's water.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think I'm afraid of the ocean, so maybe.
Are you really?
I'm not a fan of going in the ocean.
See, and I'm a scuba diver.
Oh, really?
I've been a diver for over 30 years.
Wow.
I'm at the point where I could probably teach it. I think I'm only 5 classes away from a certification.
Wow. I'm gonna have you just move it a little bit closer. It kind of like it cut out a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Much better. So what don't you do? So from Long Island,
What don't I do?
you've got an art gallery.
Yeah.
You're a scuba diver, and
Yeah.
you're still today scuba diving.
Well, there was this thing called COVID 5 years ago. I was very sick. I was in the emergency room, and then they admitted me, and then I went to the ICU, and I almost died.
Oh my goodness.
And it was, in fact, I was followed by various TV stations in the area. I was interviewed because I was one of the first people to come forward and said I had COVID.
Wow.
People discouraged me from telling others I had COVID because they thought it would hurt my gallery business. People would think that it was cursed, or it was they can catch it. Remember, there were so many misnomers at the beginning.
Yeah.
People thought, "Oh, I can't touch the surface. I can't go in there. I can't breathe this." And I decided to go to really be vocal about it because I was a real advocate of wearing masks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I almost died on August 2nd, 2020, which was the beginning of COVID. That was the very beginning. And they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to treat me. There was one day where almost everyone on the floor died.
Wow.
And I was very lucky because I had no comorbidities.
Yeah.
And the people who were dying were for the most part, they had either heart ailments, diabetes, they were obese.
Yeah.
And I was fine. I just happened to get a really bad dose of it. And so I had a surgery in April, and it was determined that I only had 25% of my lung capacity. So with scuba diving, you have to have strong lungs. Your lungs are actually a flotation device when you're diving, and you use your breathing as one of your best tools. So I have not tried to scuba dive since I had COVID. I'm really afraid, but every time I see someone scuba diving, I can't take my eyes off the screen. I'm still fascinated by it. After 30 years, it's still one of the most amazing hobbies, although people say, why would you want to do something where you have to bring your air with you?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. And you never know what's there. I've done snorkeling with my brother loves to do it down in Palm Beach, and so we went with him, and I'm just like, what is that? What is it? Like, I'm just, there's sharks and things.
There are. And in fact, when you're diving, you're using hand signals. So I've actually dove with people who were deaf, and it's so easy for them because you're using sign language.
Oh, wow.
So like, this is shark.
Okay, well,
and
that's
this is eel. So, but I find scuba diving to be the most amazing sport because it's almost like you're on the moon. It's almost like you're weightless, and you see things that really only a small portion of the population would ever see. And I myself are fascinated by it. In fact, when I see fish in a tank, I get very upset because I don't think they should be there. I think they should be where I could see them, not where everyone else could see them.
Right. That's mine.
So scuba diving to me is a sport that is, I think everyone could do it.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of fear.
There is.
Because of the unknown. You don't know what you're going to see. But to me, that's the exciting part of it. I'm looking for these things.
You're braver than I.
Oh, I have dove with sharks twice.
Oh, wow.
Yes, where they chum the water and you're watching them.
Intentionally
chumming. I took my daughter. You'd think that would be very bad. I took my daughter with me, and we watched. In fact, here's something. So when my kids were 11 and 12, I got them certified.
Oh, wow.
And they were at a place called Kids Sea Camp, and we went to the Caribbean. I think it was Roatan, Honduras. And they got certified, and it's called a junior open water because you really can't get certified until you're of age. And I think that age is either 16 or 18.
Okay.
But we got PADI certified, which is there's 2 places that certify you. So we did PADI, and I got rescue certified just so that I could be their buddy, which is what it's called when you pair up with someone, and so I could save them if something happened.
That is cool.
And they still thank me for that. These 2 children who were 11 and 12 are now 29 and 30.
Do they scuba dive still?
Oh yeah, my daughter went scuba diving. She went to Australia last year.
Oh wow.
And she went with whale sharks.
That is amazing. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's really cool though. Cool. So where are they at now? So tell me about that.
My son is in Westerville. He works for Huntington Bank.
Okay.
He's he used to manage my gallery.
Okay.
For 4 years.
Wow.
He worked for Mama.
Nice.
Yeah, well, he may not think, no. He definitely grew from that experience, and I think that a lot of the customer-facing interactions he had has helped him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being at Huntington. And my daughter is in Tacoma, Washington with her husband. She's married, and she's an real outdoors person. And she climbs, and they camp, and they glamp, and
That's awesome.
They paddle, they do everything. So she's a real outdoorsy person. She was in Chicago, but she married a geologist.
Interesting.
Not in Chicago. Not a lot of need.
No.
So he's in the mountains, and she's in the mountains, and they are living their best life with their new puppy, Sloan.
That's awesome.
In fact, we are going out there in 2 weeks. We're taking them to the Ohio State-Washington game.
Nice.
They could care less, but we want to go.
You'll be excited.
Yeah.
That should be a good game.
It should be 22,000 people in that stadium.
That's great.
So it's 1/5 of the size of the shoe.
Of the shoe, yeah. That'll still be a great environment. I'm sure it'll be.
Yeah, they think they're going to win.
I bet they do. I don't know this. The Buckeyes look really good,
don't they? But it's hard being number one. They have a real target on their back being number one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of crazy with them in the Big Ten. Thinking about like West Coast schools, but it seems to be working out.
I think so.
I think it's going to help a school like Washington, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure Grambling is still putting ice packs on their body.
Yeah, they're trying to. That was a tough one.
Yeah,
that was a tough one. OU, I think, will be a little bit closer, but it'll be a tough one too.
Yeah.
Well, we just jumped right into it. I didn't even introduce you. So Hayley, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. And you are the owner of the Hayley Gallery, right?
I am.
All right.
I am.
And I told you I've been there once. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about it at all. So How about a little bit of like, just like, how did you start it? Like, what made you want to open a gallery?
Well, this is a real circuitous story, but when I was born, my sister was 16 and a half years old, and there's nobody in between.
Wow.
And she ended up going to college for art education.
Ah.
So by the time that I was 5 and 6 years old, she was looking for ways to put her education to use. So she would take me to museums in New York.
Awesome.
And we would go to the Guggenheim, and we would go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And she would draw, and she would have me draw. And I just developed a love of art and an appreciation of art. And being a teacher, it was very nurturing for me to be around her. And then fast forward, I grew up on Long Island, as we discussed before. And I graduated from Hofstra University, which, if you've ever heard of it, most people have not. But it's a very large school on Long Island.
Okay.
And I was a marketing major. And I couldn't at that point think about how to weave art into my career because I needed to eat. So, I worked in Manhattan, and the first business trip I ever had, I was 21 years old. And I went to Indianapolis on a business trip. And there was an art fair in the lobby of the hotel. And I was just fascinated. So I took my paycheck, my entire paycheck for a week, which at the time was $250.
Yeah. And
I slapped it down on a painting. People thought I was like out of my mind. And I said, I love art. I just want to collect art. And that started a fascination with art. And my friends were going to Mexico, doing Club Med, buying BMWs. I was going to auction.
Buying art.
I was buying art. I was buying important art too. I was buying art that with people like you'd recognize the name of some of the art.
Yeah.
And that's how I incorporated art is whenever I made a little bit of money, I'd buy a piece.
Yeah.
And so fast forward 27 years. The industry that I was in gave me a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay.
And I was only in my mid-40s.
Yeah.
And I said, this is something. Should I gracefully leave? And I did at that point start thinking about what am I leaving my children and what kind of memories will they have? And I felt at the time I was divorced. I had 2 children. I was living in Chicago. And I was taking these international trips. And I always had a suitcase.
Yeah.
And my kids were young. They were in kindergarten, and we had a nanny.
Yeah.
And I just kept saying, is this the kind of life I want to have? I was making really good money, but
yeah. What was that career?
gone.
What were you doing?
I was in sales and marketing for a customer that for a company that did customer service support.
Okay.
So you dial an 800 number.
Yeah.
And you get someone on the line. They're sometimes in the United States, but a lot of times they're not.
Yeah.
So it had me. I was in India.
Oh wow.
I was in South Africa. I was in Panama. I was all over the world looking for places where we can hire people to take phone calls from American companies.
Yeah. And then trying to raise 2 young ones.
Trying to raise 2 young ones with a real challenging ex-husband who would not take my kids outside of whatever was written in our agreement.
Oh, geez.
So, for instance, I went to India for 5 days.
I can't go to Kroger for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So 5 days. And it's a 2 days travel each way.
Yeah.
I'd go to the Philippines, and that's a long time. It's 48 hours so I would literally be there for a day and a half. Wow. I once went to Hawaii on a Monday and came back on a Wednesday.
Oh, man.
Because I couldn't change my visitation. So it became really challenging.
Yeah.
And at the same time, my father passed away when he was 47. And I was getting to that age, and I started to think about what legacy am I leaving behind?
Yeah.
And it became very clear to me that I needed to make a better impression on my children for how I was managing my life, my career, my happiness.
Yeah.
And so I was given an opportunity to, I had moved to Ohio, by the way, by that time.
Okay.
And I won a lawsuit, not a lawsuit, but I did file suit to take my kids. It's called a removal process.
Yeah.
So I was able to remove them to Ohio from Chicago, which was quite a thing to do. In fact, you'll find my case in the Illinois Supreme Court.
Oh, boy.
Because not only was it decided by a judge, but then they appealed it. It was appealed by my ex-husband, and then it was confirmed again.
Jeez.
So I made a lot of lawyers very rich.
I bet.
And I took a job in Ohio in that same business.
Okay.
And I helped build this company up. But there were a lot of promises made to me with this company. Being a woman, they wanted to convert it to a woman-owned business to get more business. And so that was what he told me he wanted to do. And he did give me a board position on the company. And he did make me a lot of promises, but it ended up being a very toxic culture. And so even though I did have my kids with me, I was traveling a little bit less. I was so unhappy. So here's at the same time, I'm thinking about my father passing away. I have these 2 kids that I'm trying to raise and be around for them. I didn't know a person in Ohio, but I moved here anyway because I wanted to take a shot. I wanted to be financially independent, and I wanted to be able to give my kids the life that they deserved. So at the same time, I was a member of a synagogue called Temple Beth Shalom in New Albany. And they saw that I was a go-getter, gutsy woman from New York. And they said, hey, would you like to do our fundraiser, our next fundraiser? And that's a big thing to take it on.
Yeah.
I said, sure. I said, how about we do an art auction? I said, where'd you come up with that? I said, I am an art collector. Maybe I can call my artists and see if they'd like to donate. But I structured it a different way. I said, we'll give you, the temple will get 50% and the artist will get 50%. Most fundraisers they want the artist to give that piece to them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see the alignment. There's a stronger alignment with things like diseases like cancer and diabetes and Alzheimer's. But here I was asking artists to give it for a synagogue.
Yeah.
And although everyone was very supportive of it, and there was no anti-Semitism at the, there. And so people were supportive of what I was trying to do. My kids were going to become a bat and bar mitzvah there. So it was important to support it. Well, I called up all these artists. I found artists in Ohio. We sold 90 pieces.
Wow.
In under 2 hours and raised $40,000. It was the biggest thing they'd ever had. I mean, usually their fundraisers, they were making 15, 20,000, so 40,000. And so my marketing hat was saying, wait a second, people in New Albany like to buy art. Maybe this is my second career.
Yeah.
So I wrote a business plan, and I talked to a couple of brokers, and I found a spot.
Wow.
I gave my notice of my company, and then I spent about 3 months building the gallery up. And I have to tell you, the day I opened, which was November 8th, my father's birthday.
Oh, wow.
November 8th, 2007. They had to call the New Albany police to direct traffic because we had 500 people at the opening. I invited 100. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we did, it was amazing. That November and December was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then 2008 came.
Oh, yeah.
And the recession. And I people were like, are you glad you did this? And I'm like, no, I really wish I had some tarot cards at the time to tell me what it would be like.
Yeah.
So it was really hard.
I bet.
I had come down from a major high, and I ended up doing a lot of things that I didn't think I was going to do. I cashed in my retirement account.
Oh, my.
I cashed in insurance. I sold jewelry, my own stuff. I did a lot of things to keep my business going.
Man, that's tough.
It was really tough. It
Yeah.
was a real come to Jesus moment where you say, should I just say I tried it and did it and go back to corporate America? But something said, you have to stay with this. And the other thing was, I developed such a phenomenal relationship with my artists, and so many of them were depending on me. Here I was changing my career.
Yeah.
And doing something I had never done before and saying I could do it. And I was dealing with artists who were themselves manicurists, nurses, teachers,
Yep.
who wanted to give up those careers to just sell art. So I was in such a parallel ride with my artists. I felt
Yeah.
I couldn't let them down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had convinced them going with me was the way to go.
Yep. Yeah.
At the time I had 20, 25 artists. Today I have 90.
And so all of the art in the museum are from local artists. Gallery, sorry.
It's okay. You could look at a museum. The only difference is you can buy things.
Yeah. So they're all local. Is that correct?
90%.
Mostly?
90% are local, or they have either a strong or loose connection to Ohio.
Okay, nice. And everything in there is for sale.
Everything except for the dog.
Oh.
People try to buy the dog. I had a dog named Rory for 14 and a half years. She would sit on the chair in front of my desk and look at me the entire day. And she was the gallery dog.
Yeah.
In fact, I was interviewed by various City Scene magazine, Capital Styles, various magazines that were around at the time that actually City Scene still is a big one.
Yeah.
They interviewed me and there was always the dog in there. And so Rory was around for 14 and a half years. And then now we have Maddie. Who's 3.5 years old.
Okay.
And people will be very disappointed if Maddie is not in the gallery when I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, where's the dog?
Why didn't Maddie come here today?
Oh, you know what? Maddie had a separate engagement.
Okay.
Yeah, Maddie had an engagement with my husband.
All right. Fair enough. Maybe next time.
She stays home sometimes. But next time we can bring her in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And so these artists, are they selling their pieces elsewhere? Like, just tell me a little bit more about the artists.
Sure. I have artists that have been with me this entire 18 years. They which is to me the most gratifying part of what I do, is they have taken this ride and a leap of faith for the most part to be in the gallery for that long. I've been invited to weddings and to baptisms and to birthday parties, and they're a part of my life.
Yeah.
They're my network. They're my friends.
Yeah.
So the artists that I have, I would say that right now 65% of them are women.
Okay.
10% are LGBTQ.
Okay.
15% are minority.
All right.
Which I think is the way it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they do everything from, we have painters and we have people who do mixed media, below glass. We have 3 different types of glass.
Yeah.
Stained glass, blown glass, fused glass. We have ceramics and different types of ceramics. We have sculpture. We have Renata Fackler, who's been with me the entire time, too. She did the bronze of the Brutus Buckeye at the Ohio State Student Union that everyone takes their photos with.
Yeah, I've taken photos with
it. So we represent her.
That's awesome.
I would say that probably 10% of my artists are only in my gallery.
Wow. There's woodworking in there, right? Like,
there's wood. There's wood.
Metal. I think there's some.
There's metal.
I remember seeing,
There's a little bit. We even have cards by a wonderful guy whose name is Jason Bradley Krause. He was married to Chris Bradley, who was the meteorologist who passed away from leukemia.
Yep.
And we have his cards and some of his Ohio State posters.
Yeah.
And we have a little bit of everything. One thing that I, being an art collector, one thing I always was observant of is going into a gallery and seeing a lot of white walls and only a piece here and a piece there, and it being a little bit antiseptic.
Yeah.
And I felt there are galleries that I've been into, not only in the United States, but throughout the world, where you're intimidated to go in. You felt like it was above you or beyond you. And that is the opposite, the antithesis of what I wanted to create. With the dog, especially.
Yeah.
And that was not a marketing thing. That's just because I like having a dog. I also have 2 cats, but it wouldn't work with them. They'd scratch everything up. But
And I'll be honest, when I came in, I told you I had I was with the kids. We were probably between ice cream Johnson's and mellow mushroom.
Right.
So I was like, I want to see, I see this sign. I've heard of it. I've seen the social and I was a little intimidated walking in there, but then it is once I'm mostly intimidated because I'm afraid my kids are going to break some expensive art
That is good
piece.
because if you break it, you break
that's
it.
It's
good to watch them hold their hand.
It did. Yeah. So I did. I was holding two hands.
Good.
But yeah, it was not. I don't know what I expected, but it was definitely different than what I expected. I mean, it was not intimidating at all.
Yeah. People will say that they spent they went to the Short North Gallery Hop, or they went to the Short North, and they didn't say anything they liked, and they said it was hard not to find something they liked because I have a lot of things, and it is still a gallery.
Yeah.
It is a gallery that is open to many different artists, and I don't think of artists as only those that can paint.
Yeah,
artists could fire ceramics. Artists could make jewelry. Artists could be graphic designers. And I believe in having an open mind as to what artists I want to represent. I have one artist, and this is something I'm most proud of, is Demi Shostak. She was a student in New Albany High School.
Okay.
And she became, they have something where you are shadowed by a junior for senior seminar, junior or senior. And so she worked with me for months and months and months for school credit for a senior seminar. And then she did a report, and I went to her presentation.
Yeah.
And I've actually done that a dozen times already now. But she put her work in the gallery, and we have been very successful selling it.
Really? That's awesome.
And she is a sophomore, junior at Ohio State now.
Wow.
And we represent her. So it's also aspirational.
That is really cool.
And I love the fact that we've had over 1,000 kids come through the gallery with Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and school trips. And we've had even people from Goodwill who are disabled come in and see the gallery. I'm very proud that we've opened our doors towards a lot of different people, a lot of different sectors of the population of Columbus who want to learn about art. And when they come in, I always tell them, you're standing in my dream. Because it is. How can you? I mean, I feel like every day I'm surrounded by beauty. And when people bring art in, my artists bring art in, it's like Christmas morning.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, look, I'm a sports guy and I thought it was awesome, but I love art. I need to maybe see if you could sell one of my pencil drawings.
Oh, okay.
I just like to do it. The kids love to do it, so I'll sit and do it with them.
Yeah.
They're not great. But I like in high school, I love ceramics. That was great. I still have some of the things I made. Again, not great, but I just love doing it. It's just fun.
I think it's fantastic. I think that everyone has a creative side to them.
Yeah. Till I drop off my pencil drawing of a cow.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what that looks like. We'll see what that looks like.
I should have brought it in.
That would have been very funny.
Yeah.
But we're like non-denominational.
Yeah.
We're like a church without you don't have to be a great artist. You have to be a talented artist.
Yeah.
You have to have the talent. I'm not looking for the next Picasso.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for the next Monet. I'm looking for someone who is devoted to creating art.
Yeah.
And creates art that I could sell.
Yeah.
And so
there's some Ohio State stuff in there that was really cool.
There is Ohio State, but it is not like Ohio State. It's not like we don't have the Buckeye and we don't have braided stuff. We have real art, ceramic and glass and
really cool stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
Really neat.
In fact, you know who one of our clients is?
Who's that?
Oh, see, I don't want to know if I should name names, but I will tell you that Jim Tressel has bought art from me.
Nice. How about that?
Yeah, and we've had some famous people. I'm not going to name names. But we've had some pretty notable Ohioans come in and come to the gallery, and I'm, inside I'm, oh my goodness, I got the opportunity to meet you. This is so exciting. But you have.
So Coach Tressel was just here. I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago. I got to meet him. He was here for a city event.
Yes, and know that before they interviewed him, they interviewed me. Yeah, I was the interview before him.
Nice. Good.
We were on TV for, it was, I forget the name of the channel, Spectrum News.
I did see some cameras here. Yeah.
So,
How about that?
They interviewed me right before it. How do you like that?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So is that when he came to the...
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
He and I go way back.
Okay. Good.
Yeah,
good.
he bought a piece of Renata's. Okay, so here's even a funny story. His first marriage, Renata, was a bridesmaid at his first wedding.
Oh.
She's the one who did the Brutus Buckeye.
Yeah.
So she made him
how about that?
Small bronze.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So we meet a lot of great people in the gallery. It's a real it's a spot where people know they can see beauty and buy things and buy gifts and are not intimidated and could pet a dog.
Yeah, who doesn't want to see a dog?
Right?
I mean, and sorry, what's the new dogs?
Maddie.
Okay.
Maddie. Oh, I have to tell you, depending upon the mood I'm in, she's either Maddie, Matilda, Madeline. She'll answer at anything.
That's good.
As long as it's a cookie. Yeah.
That's great. Man, I love the story. So my mom has it started with like clothing consignment back in small town of Cortland, Ohio. And the clothing kind of turned into furniture and then, so now she has this small shop in a small town where she does consignment furniture, but I feel like she does a lot better with like local stuff. Like
Sure.
I'll call them artists, but it might be jewelry. It might be like there's a candle shop in town that she sells lots of those. Right. And like, so she always has people bringing things to her that they're making or creating or whatever. Right. And very similar. And the challenges of like the economy and just everything, COVID or whatever it may be, like that challenge I have an appreciation for that, I guess, because it's tough.
It is very tough. And unless an artist is going to fairs and selling their work at like the Upper Arlington or the Westerville Art Fair or the Worthington, it's very hard for them to get noticed locally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have the New Albany Farmers Market where some of them could go for crafts.
Yeah.
So I have a difficult time turning people away, and we get at least 10 applications to be in the gallery a week.
I bet.
And unfortunately, 9.75 of them I have to turn away on average, because it's with 90 artists, I have to be very selective. I also do not want to have too many in any one medium, because I don't want it to be
a bunch of paintings,
a bunch of the same thing or commonplace, if you will.
Yeah.
So, but we have a very, I would say, strict process. You have to apply online.
Okay.
We have to know a little bit about you. We have to understand what your experience is working with a gallery, what your price point is, what your artist statement is. And if people can get through that whole process, it's wonderful. And if I see even a spark of something, I do want to bring them in and see it.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to let them down. And a lot of people will think that what they do is art, but it is really a craft, which is just as nice, but I'm not the right avenue for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are other avenues for them to sell crafts. And there's lots of great places in Columbus you can go to buy that type of work, just not mine.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And we do partner with Cameron Mitchell. I think that Hudson 29 in New Albany has been a phenomenal partner, and Greg, the GM, has been just spectacular.
Yeah, and
we do events, and we do parties. We do openings once a month, and we'll always say, make it a date night and go to Hudson 29 after the gallery and have a wonderful evening. For the Kentucky Derby last year, we had a bunch of women who came to the gallery, and then afterward we all went and we had wonderful drinks, and they had a whole place set aside for us at the in the bar.
They have amazing drinks, by the way.
They are a fantastic restaurant.
Yeah.
And one day I'm really hoping that we can put art in there, but it's a process.
Yeah. So
it's a process.
you were telling me after looking, like walking how beautiful Brick House Blue is, you had mentioned like going to place art in places. Is that something that
We
like
do.
is common that you do? Or?
Well, they buy the art.
Okay.
So we just put, I think it was a half dozen pieces in Ohio Real Title.
Okay.
Which is right next door in the
Yeah.
building next door. And they are on the water as well. And the art looks beautiful. It's perfect. And art in an office is so cheery. And
Yeah.
it's so different to have a commitment to local art and original art in an office. It gives people puts a smile on their face, just
Yeah.
like it does when you're at home. I always say to people when they're not sure about whether to buy a piece of art, I said, okay, it's like a marriage. You want to wake up every morning, see it, and really be happy you bought it. You made that decision.
Yeah.
And so it really is great for morale. So not only do we have art there, we have art at Wallach and Company, which is right by the gallery.
Yeah.
We have art at Nationwide Children's Hospital. They've been a phenomenal supporter of the gallery for over a decade. We have art in the convention center.
Daughter has a piece of art at Nationwide Children's.
That's
it was,
fantastic.
It was through the school, and it was a cardinal.
Yeah.
And so she, at the time, was in kindergarten, and I don't know how they selected pieces or what they did, but it's a permanent fixture there. I haven't been to see it. But.
I know who selected it, in fact. The woman who selected it, Ann Dierker, who is no longer there, but I'm sure it was her who selected it. They've made a phenomenal commitment to having children's art and local art.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
But the more that people know that they could buy art at the gallery that's affordable, that they can put in their offices, and it could really make a difference to the way people perceive the business when they come in and see that. In fact, Ohio Real Title has art also in their offices at Polaris.
Interesting.
So they've been, and they're a Cleveland-based company, but they've been incredibly supportive of that because it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So we don't place art. We'll only sell it to put in there.
Yeah.
But occasionally, if someone wants a piece or two for a specific need, we will talk with the artist and see, because we don't own the art.
Yeah.
So we can't just take a piece of art and put it wherever we want, because it's not ours. It belongs to the artist, so we have to respect that.
Yeah.
And the artists also are the ones who set the prices. So when people are curious about how the prices work, it's always based on the market value of what the artist has sold before, the medium, the technique, whether it's oil or acrylic, mixed media. That has a big impact, and the artists set the price, and it's a living wage type of price so that they can continue to produce.
That's exactly right. Do you have anybody, do they make any of the artists do custom pieces for
Many
anybody?
of them do.
Okay.
Some of them will say, I will never do a commission, but others are fantastic. In fact, I have one artist, Lori Clements, who used to be a New Albany resident. She'll make someone 2 pieces and let them choose which one they want. She's amazing.
Pretty neat.
And we have several people. Carolyn Heffelfinger, in fact, did a beautiful thing for me. Last week, I came in the gallery and there was a little package there, and I opened it up, and it was a painting of Maddie.
Oh, nuh-uh.
And she said, I love your dog, and I want you to have this. And I was just blown away.
Yeah.
And so she does beautiful pet portraits and beautiful pieces. So she's great. We have Adam Culp. Okay, so this is a great story. Adam Culp is an art teacher at New Albany.
Okay.
And my daughter had him. Now,
What building?
Teaches the senior. He teaches in the high school.
Okay.
He did teach in middle school though. Once.
Okay.
Side note: he has 2 sets of twins and he had them under the age of 3. 2 sets of twins. So him and his wife are like amazing people.
Yeah.
So you have 4. So you can imagine having them both at the.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
No thanks.
And so Adam, who grew up in Westerville, went to Otterbein. When he was a senior in high school, he started losing his vision.
Oh.
And the doctors determined it was something that was going to keep progressing. And he went to Otterbein, and he basically was blind. He could only see shadows.
Wow.
And he was an art major.
Wow.
So he met his wife, Heather, at Otterbein. He continued as an art major. His mother would walk with him and take him around to his classes. I mean, amazing commitment.
Yeah.
In 1999, they discovered what it was, and they gave him a cornea transplant, but they could only do one at a time. They don't want to, take a chance. So he had one in 1999. He had another in 2000, restored his vision. He went back to Otterbein for his master's in teaching because his corneas were from a child or from children, because he was not fully formed yet. He was only, under 21.
Oh, wow.
So he said he wanted to go back because he sees through the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
So he taught. So he was my daughter's teacher.
So I went to Otterbein for education, 2004. Yeah.
He was a little before you.
Yeah. I was there from 4 to 9.
Yeah. You should look him up.
Yeah.
So Adam, what a story. And his art, some of his art is blurry because it harkens back to what he used to see, and then it's very clear. Children's Hospital has several of his pieces because his story is so amazing. So for me, it's also about the story. So I have one artist, his name is Sean Augustin, and he was he was in the Army during Desert Storm, and he had some issues with 2 deployments, and he was suicidal. Oh. And his counselors said, you should really try expressing yourself another way. And he started photography, and that led into art. And now I have sold so much of his work.
Wow.
And he's an amazing artist. He still has struggles with health struggles from a result of being deployed twice.
Yeah.
But to be able to represent someone like that who has been there and has triumphed. I also have an artist, Lori Clements. I mentioned her before. She had breast cancer, and she started a fund called Locks and a Lift. And what that is she uses some of her funds from art sales to provide wigs and rides to chemotherapy for people who can't afford it.
Wow. How amazing is that?
So every artist has a story. We have artist, Marianne Phillip is one of my artists who was formerly in Art and Recovery, which is for artists who have gone through mental health and other types of substance abuse issues. And she's one of my best-selling artists right now.
Wow.
So there are stories and there are things that I really love to share about my artists. And that's why I stay in business.
I
stay in business because these artists are relying on me to tell their story.
Yeah. That's really neat.
Yeah. I have another artist, Todd Boucher, who's been with me the entire 18 years. He was part of the fundraiser at the temple. So he supersedes the gallery. And he used to supplement his income. He was a track teacher. He was an art teacher in Urbana, but he was also the track coach. Okay. And I sold enough art that he could give up coaching so he can concentrate on art.
Yeah.
So to be able to know that I facilitated that is
really neat.
Incredibly gratifying.
I coach track too, so I have an affinity for that.
You know that. And now he's just retired after 35 years teaching.
Wow.
Yep. And he has a show coming up in November with another artist from Pataskala, Suzanne Robinson, who's been with me a dozen years.
Wow. And then, so do the artists come into the gallery? Like, do your clients get to meet the artist ever?
All the time.
Okay.
It's funny because I had someone who came in from Texas. Okay, so she wrote to me and she says, "My husband's from Ohio. We're having a reunion. I'm from Texas. We're driving in. Could we come to your gallery? This is the artist we like." And while they were there, they also saw something else they liked by one of my artists who's a psychiatrist in New Albany. His name is Dr. Eric Lane. And I called Eric up and I said, "Hey, Eric, they're interested in a piece that's on the website, but I don't have." 15 minutes later, he comes walking in with the piece.
Oh, wow.
And gets to meet them.
How neat is that?
That happens more than you could imagine.
That's really neat.
On any given day, I have 1 or 2 artists that are dropping off work because when you have 90 artists, you are, and when you have so much work, we're selling on average at least 1 painting a day. Yesterday, we sold 6 paintings.
Wow.
So we're constantly playing Tetris, if you will, and replacing and calling people up and saying, okay, we have a spot on the wall, come in, bring a piece. So it's so easy for someone to zip up from, they come from, yesterday we had an artist from Cincinnati, and we have artists coming from Cleveland and from a place called Hicksville, Ohio, which is near the Toledo. And we have artists from all over Ohio. And when they hear there's a collector who's interested in their work, they will come out and want to meet them.
Yeah.
And then when we have our artist openings, which is once a month, well, actually, we do it probably 11 times a year. We have artists who come to support those artists whose work is on display, and we'll introduce them to patrons who are there.
That's pretty cool.
And then once a year, we have our holiday party, which is always around November 8th when we open. So this year it happens to work that it's on November 8th and 9th, and most of the artists will come in.
That's neat.
And they'll meet their patrons, and the patrons will get to meet them.
That's really cool.
And it's really wonderful. And we have artists who've developed their own personal relationships with their clients because of that mutual admiration.
Yeah. That's really neat. Really neat. I got to ask a question. Like, how are all those paintings fixed on the wall? Because if I did it, they'd be falling off, and I'd be worried about breaking things. So who? I was in there, and you said Tetris. It is kind of like there is stuff everywhere. I told you how nervous I was with my kids. But so, like, who's doing? Are you hanging that stuff up?
I hang it.
Okay.
My husband doesn't want to hear this, but I actually get up on a ladder, which I shouldn't do because I've broken my back multiple times.
Oh, geez.
And I have the scars to prove it. But I have Ryan. Ryan Metzger is my assistant, and he is an art. He graduated with an art degree from Denison 2 years ago.
I think that's who was in there when I was
Ryan,
there. Yeah.
long hair.
Yep,
He's also an artist, and he's having an opening next.
Very nice.
He's a producing artist at the gallery as well, and he helps hang. He hung the entire show that we just hung yesterday. He hung it. Good. I design it, so that's my thing. Is I design where I want everything to go because there is a science to it. There is a way to hang it, and we also hang the gallery that way. We hang the gallery not by artist, but by pieces that would go well with each other in someone's space.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So we don't just clump them all together.
So if you go in there, you may like the artists don't have their own specific space.
We don't do that. I know other places do that, but we believe in kind of mixing things up a little bit and making it a little bit more visually appealing.
Yeah.
And so hanging it, we hang it from a system, Gallery Systems. A shout out to them in Boston. They're fantastic. Right. I'm also an interior designer, and I'm about to put that system in someone's home, a true art collector.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's funny. I opened the gallery in 2007, and in 2013 I got married to my husband Kurt, and I put my house up for sale. We were living in it at the time, but we felt we wanted a fresh start. And my friend Sherry Resnick, who's a phenomenal real estate agent, kept telling me that people were coming in and asking me who my decorator was. And it was me.
Yeah.
And so I got all these cards from people, and I said, okay, I'm going to open up a firm. So I opened up Dieter Design in 2013. My husband kids that it was a Sunday, which is exactly what it was, and he was watching football. And he said, hey, what are you doing, honey? I said, oh, I'm starting an interior design firm. What are you doing? Because I'm about to go get a beer.
That's hilarious.
So I've had my design firm for 12 years.
Okay.
And I do not advertise it at all. And I'm busy all the time.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's been wonderful. So that hanging system I put in clients' houses, and I hang for my clients. I actually do the physical hanging for them.
Nice.
And if I can't do it, Ryan will do it.
Yeah.
Because it is tough. So we have a hanging system. Sometimes we use nails, but mostly we use these hooks.
Yeah. A system for hanging art.
A system for hanging art.
Not me like just pounding nails in them.
No, although there is a way that if you want it hung on a nail, we can do that. But in our hanging system, we are using these hooks that some of them are use a little key, an Allen wrench. Some of them are push button. So some of them are for security, and some of them are just for ease of hanging. So it is more complicated.
Yeah. See, I knew it had to be.
Yeah, it is. And I can show you when you come to the gallery. I can show you how it is.
It's like a pet peeve of my wife's that because I have done remodeling and am handy, but like. Nothing is kid proof. Like they'll rip the towel rack off the wall, and I'm like, there's nothing else I can do to make it more secure. But so she messes with me that I can't hang a picture on the wall.
Well, hanging a picture is okay. So the way you should really hang a picture is not with a nail in the center, and everyone does that.
Yeah.
And of course, it's going to move. So you should really have hooks on what's called the D rings, which are the rings that hold the wire.
Okay.
And they're in the shape of a D. Some of them are in the shape of a V. You don't want those. They're light.
Yeah.
So don't go to like an Ace Hardware and get a hanging kit. I mean, even though they're wonderful, a lot of other things, you really need from an art store. You really need these D rings.
Interesting.
Because you need to be able to put a hook through the ring, and it has to be heavy enough. Because some of the paintings, especially if it's a frame painting with glass, it could weigh 25 pounds. You got to make sure you're weighting it right.
Yeah. Do you do any framing? Like if I had some art,
I've been designing framing for 18 years.
Really?
Yeah, I do all the design, and we have a 100% rate of client of people coming back to me for framing. It's glorifying that people trust me so much for framing. And it's one of my favorite things to do is to design it. Oh, it allows me to be creative. Instead of just selling other people's art, I get to create the frame around their art.
That's pretty cool. So when somebody brings a piece in, it's not framed. Do you design the frame around it?
Yeah.
And then it's sold with that frame?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a choice.
Okay.
Sometimes they're bringing in pieces that they buy elsewhere. Sometimes they're buying in pieces that they're bringing in pieces that their kids did. I mean, I framed diplomas, kids' art. I framed jerseys.
Interesting.
Yes, there was things at the Rusty Bucket that I framed.
How
framed
cool is that?
A lot of the work for the New Albany Community Foundation for Craig Moore.
Yeah.
All of their remarkable evenings and a lot of their speakers, everything they have, I framed all of that in their office.
I got to bring in my penciled cow and
yes, you do. We got to get that cow.
See how you could frame
get that framed. Yeah, but it is custom framing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So framing is another part. So we also do gallery rental. So you can actually rent the gallery and have a party there.
That'd be sweet. That'd be cool.
Fun. You don't have to decorate it.
Yeah.
No balloons.
That's a little scary.
Yeah. We don't do it as much as but we'll do it. The other thing I love to do, and this is an important part of how we show the community how much we care, is we give the gallery once a month to a nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
And let them
awesome.
have the gallery, whether it's to thank their volunteers, whether it's to raise money, whatever it is. I will give the gallery out for 2 hours on any day of the week, once a month, and it's yours to do what you wish.
Nice. Has Irene used it yet?
Oh, yeah.
I figured.
Pelotonia has used it. We've used it for the New Albany Community Foundation. We've used it for the New Albany pantry, food pantry.
Yeah.
We've used it for Healthy New Albany. We've used it for political candidates. We've used it for synagogues and churches.
That's great.
Anyone who has a nonprofit, a 501(c)(3). So you have to be a legitimate nonprofit.
Yeah.
I will give you the gallery for 2 hours, as long as no children. The only thing, because you don't want to be, and that that they know that they have to bring all the food and the drink and all that.
Yeah.
I'm just giving them the space and giving them that opportunity.
Yeah, that's nice. You got to get them full of wine, and then they just start buying pieces off.
The wallet gets looser.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's been almost an hour, probably over an hour now.
This has been so much fun.
It is.
I've enjoyed it.
It is really fun. It's. We were talking before, like you and I probably would likely never sit down and talk, right? And so it's just really cool, and I think a lot of people are going to learn a lot about you. Scuba diving.
I was going to say, I bet we'd never scuba dive together.
No, absolutely.
That wouldn't happen.
Absolutely not. But you're really good at it. Like, it's easy. You just talk.
Yeah.
Maybe you should start a podcast for your artist. That would be neat.
Yeah.
Sit
You'd have to teach me how to do all this equipment.
Easy. If
That
I can
would
do
be
it,
fun.
anybody can. You know what? I do have, speaking of equipment, I got one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about digital art and AI and just kind of like technology in general and what that does for the art community?
I think it's the worst thing that could happen to the art community because artists have a hard enough time getting ripped off. And in fact, I tell all my artists to put a little trademark, something on all the work that they publish out so it can't be stolen.
Yeah.
I also have them on the back of their artwork reserve all their rights on the back. Copyright, all rights reserved the year. So there are so many artists who've come to me who've told me that they publish their artwork on either Instagram or Facebook, and they see someone else
doing the same thing.
Now, that's different from AI.
Yeah.
That's different. But unfortunately, piracy is a very big issue.
Yeah.
Now, it is, I completely understand that it is very hard to develop something that no one has seen before.
Yeah.
That is obvious. However, there are certain techniques and certain skills that artists have that are their own that they would like to preserve.
Yep.
And when I see other people pirating it, it makes me feel so bad for them because they don't have the resources to sue or to go after these people. You can send a letter, cease and desist.
Yep.
But most of the time it doesn't work. Yeah, that digital. I know a lot of artists who do digital. I don't represent that, but the AI scares me.
Yeah, you can create anything. I wonder if it doesn't increase the value of art, because I think there's an increase in value of things like this because like the digital world and everything's moving so fast and everything is so isolated, where like I think we're like going back to things like this or like physical art as less people do it because they're taking on digital art.
That's a great point.
There may be some more value in it.
That's a great point. Let's hope that someone's hearing this.
Yeah.
And will say, yes, I want physical art.
Yeah, my cow just keeps getting more and more expensive.
I can't wait to see this cow. Have you named her?
No, I should.
You should, because you're going to need, every art needs a name.
Well, I had a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we can do it again. Maybe we can get some artists in here.
I would love that.
I think that would be really neat.
Some of the people I've mentioned.
Yeah, that would be cool. Hopefully they all tune in.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks so much. Be sure to follow us on social media for news, updates, everything that's happening in New Albany. You can visit whitefencelivingpodcast.com. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode of White Fence Living.
What I love about New Albany is the holiday tree lighting.
I love the Heights Center.
The walkability and convenience.
My favorite part of New Albany is you.